Hello everyone, welcome to the Geoecologist. I am Dr. Krishnanand and you have been watching my videos on physical geography and geomorphology on my channel. So before we go ahead, in today's session, let's understand that we are going to learn about one of the most important theories, that is about pediplenation. So concept of L.C. King is important in the landforms development. So please like and subscribe to our channel and don't forget to share the videos with others as well. So now let's learn about the concept of L.C. King. So what did he have to say about the theory of landforms development? So his concept is also known as pediplenation cycle, that is the first name, or epigene cycle. Now the word is epi, remember epidermis, so it is on the surface, on the upper surface, that's why it is called epigene cycle. Now landscape cycle or hill slope cycle. So these are number 1, 2, 3 and 4 names that you need to remember when we talk about the King's concept. So L.C. King was another important geologist and geomorphologist who talked about these important cycles of landform development. Very famously, his concept of pediplenation is part of the geographical and geomorphological explanations of theories of landforms development. So let's elaborate his pediplenation cycle, or what we know as epigene cycle or landscape cycle or hill slope cycle. What does it say about the landform development? So L.C. King's theory of landform development is based on his studies of landforms in specific areas where in arid, semi-arid and savanna regions of South Africa. Now remember, earlier concepts of Davis and Penck were also very specific. So Davis said only his theory is applicable, or largely his theory is found suitable for areas where you have lots of moisture in tropics. So equatorial zones, tropical zones, that is where more of these fluvial landscapes are found. But Penck said it was about exogenetic process. So he said his theory is applicable largely in all kinds of exogenetic processes. Now here what we see in King's theory is that his concept was built in arid and semi-arid or savanna grassland regions of South Africa. So it has a particular kind of climate. So remember, that is what is important here, the semi-arid and savanna regions where rock disintegration happens because of different climatic factors, as we know, that operates in these semi-arid or arid regions. So he formulated a set of cyclic models such as landscape cycle, epigene cycle, pediplenation cycle, hill slope cycle. All these cyclic models were actually presented by L.C. King to explain this particular landscape that we understand. So he asserted that these are practically applicable in other parts of globe as well, which has similar kind of climatic or geoclimatic regime. So when we say geoclimate, it's important that it's not general climate. It is that climate which has influence of geomorphology, geography or geology in that particular area. So that is important as geoclimate. So that is what L.C. King's theory deals with. That is the landscape of particular area which is dominated by particular kind of geoclimate. So L.C. King, who's Lister Charles King, was an English geologist and geomorphologist known for his theories on scarp retreat. And what is scarp? We have already studied the faults and its various types. So we understand what is this particular scarp that we see here. These are the scarp. So what happens? When the word is retreat, it basically means, if you observe, this is the older river channel, if you can see, this is actually going through. So what happens? We have learned that there is a retreat. It means basically the earlier level would have been somewhere here, right? This scarps would have been actually extending to this particular zone, and gradually what happened? This got eroded away. So what do you have here? This, after this particular erosion, what is left? This is what we see here. This landscape which was earlier till almost this level has been now going back. This is what we see as scarp retreat. Many times this has also been known as back wasting. So it is now actually eroded and this is what is left of this particular landscape. So let's understand in the concept of L.C. King how he described the formation of these particular scarp retreat. So the reference system of King's model says that there is a uniform development. Now again, remember the word is uniform here. It means gradual. Uniformity is there of landforms in varying environmental conditions. So what is varying here? the environmental conditions, the climatic conditions, the external factors are varying, and there is insignificant influence of climatic changes in the development of fluvially originated landforms. So he said when fluvial factor, the river factor, the stream factor dominates, then other factors are not that significant, importantly, for the uniform development of these landforms. So there is a continuous migration. Now the word is migration, and remember, often we associate migration to whom? To human beings. So this was another concept which was now further made or drawn analogy. So migration of what? Of hill slope. So basically migration or retreat of hill slope, as we saw in the earlier image. So earlier this was the place, now it has migrated, the scarp has moved here. So there is a parallel retreat which was given earlier by Penck. So this was further now elaborated here. This parallel retreat leads to this migration of these scarps. So this is what is important here, that is migration of hill slope. So this was the basic reference system for King's model. Now further, for L.C. King, the profile of an ideal hill slope consists of 4 elements of slope. So this 4 elements of slope, which was given by Wood, which was Alan Wood. So he's another scholar. So he gave this actually idea which was accepted, which was now further accepted and elaborated by L.C. King. So he accepted the idea of Alan Wood's, these 4 important parts of the slope, which was summit, scarp, debris slope and pediments. This was the sequence. Remember, it can be asked as a multiple choice question that which is first, which is later on. So summit is the first one, then you have scarp, then you have debris, and then you have pediments. So the first one is the crest part, which is now further what we see is the crest summit part. Then there is a free surface. So this is what we talk about, the scarp part, right, which is now vertically there facing the free area. Then you have mountain flank that you see here. So this is part of the debris slope where you have debris accumulation happening because now this is wearing and tearing, moving here. Finally, this is what we see is the base. So where it further deposits, which has been now here eroded. So this is what we see is the erosional remnants, that is the deposition of this collovium that is brought by the river or stream from the up here. So this is what we talk as pediments. So what are these pediments then? These pediments are basically these particular rock residues, or what we say as the basically the collovial material, which is unsorted fragment of the rock. So where it is deposited at the foothills. So this is what we say as pediments. So this was discussed by L.C. King as ideal hill slope process and structure. So such hill slopes develop in all regions and in all climates where there is sufficient relief, that is basically this particular relief. So height, there is slope gradient, and fluvial process is the dominant agent. So he also said that fluvial process is important here as a dominant agent of denudation. It means stream or river, which we say is the origin point right from the initial, then consequent streams and subsequent streams and various types. So that is where it is important. So if you have not watched the video on drainage types or streams, you can go to the playlist and watch that video as well, where you can understand the various concepts of various types of drainage which has been already discussed. Now, most important thing is just look at this particular area of this Africa, South African landscape. How does it look? And then try and relate this theory. So what do you see here? Rock pediments flanking river valleys and having concave slope varying in angle from 1.5 degree to 7 degree cut into solid rocks. Now what do you observe here? This is what we say, the concaving happening. This is what is concaving happening, right? Everywhere you'll find this kind of feature here, right? So these shadowy zones, what you see. So this is what we see is the finally what is happening. This is what we understand as flanking river valleys. And scarps have steep slopes. So what do you observe? These scarps. So in this image you can observe these scarps. They have steep slope, and then finally there is a flanking river valley. And then what you observe, the angular difference. So which is less, which is more, you can observe for yourself, and steep sided residual hills. So in this area as well, you can find certain steep sided residual hills like this. So remember the residual hills in concept of Penck, it was known as Inselberg, which was again used or validated by the King as well. So he said it was Bonhards. So these Bonhards are what? Residual hills that we observe in this particular area in South African landscape. So this is what we talk about here in the King's concept of parallel retreat of slope, which is actually giving rise to peδιplanes. So what happens? The parallel retreat, which was earlier given by Penck, was now taken into the concept of L.C. King, and further he elaborated and he said what happens because of this parallel retreat, the material that is deposited at the base of all these. Now this forms a particular plane, which is this kind of plane, which is not normal plane, a very flat, but rather it is formed because of these, depositions of these residues. So this is why this is called peδιplane. So if you observe this plane, you will not find it is very plain as such. It is not that flat. What do you see? These small mounds kind of structure on this plane, which is what is at the foothill of these structures. So eroded from there. So this is what we understand as the peδιplanes in South African landscape. So going to this King cycle of erosion through now this particular diagram. So we have already looked at Davis, at Penck. Now look at this King cycle concept. So what do you observe? Again, there is a concept of base level. Then finally there is a peδιplane formation happening from this hill. What you see, this particular deposition, which is part of this peδιplane, and rest everything what you see is upliftment, youth, maturity, old age. All the things are very similar to earlier concepts of Davis and Penck. So basic idea was that how it evolves, how this peδιplane is formed. Peδιplane is not the feature of normal plains which are there in maybe Indo-Gangetic basin or maybe in other areas where you have humid tropics, but rather in semi-arid and arid areas where you have mostly these rock scarps which you have small debris. So this deposition leads to the peδιplane formation. So that is what is important here. Now further what we observe is that the difference between the models of King and Davis. So because it is fluvial cycle again coming down, so let's understand. Davis peneplain is formed due to down wasting, but peδιplane is formed due to coalescence and integration of several pediments. It means there are several pediments which are now actually gathered together, and that's how these pediments join together to form this peδιplane, right? But Davis said it was a featureless surface with just little residual hills like Monadnocks. So once formed, Davis peneplain does not experience further growth. Remember, it just forms once and there is no further growth. But remember, in pediplanation, it does not happen like that. This is continuous in process. The material is coming and further actually accumulating. This coalescence, that is putting togetherness, keeps happening. On the other hand, King's peδιplane is growing headward. So that is what is the basic difference here. So it keeps growing, adding to this particular feature of peδιplane. Then King's peδιplanes are so formed are analogous to Penck's Piedmont trepan. So remember, in Penck's concept, what we said was this Piedmont of this valley lateral cutting which were formed. So this Piedmont trepan concept is very similar to what we say as pediplanation concept. So this is a similarity between basically the pediplanation and Penck's concept. So that is why we say it is analogous. So these are the important terms to remember. So remember now palimpsest topography. So what is this palimpsest? Palimpsest is basically what? The remnants, right? So old remains are there, old imprints are there, and old imprints are what? That now this particular landscape looks like a particular feature that is there which was earlier eroded, and now you look at this landscape and you can actually draw the past. So this kind of landscape is called palimpsest landscape or palimpsest topography. So this is very commonly observed in arid and semi-arid landscapes. In pediplanation theory as well, you saw the images where you can see that earlier river system was there which finally eroded, and this back system, this retreat happened, and then it looks like this. So these topographies which have past embedded on present, so superimposition of past on present, this is what is palimpsest. Then base level of erosion. Remember this base level originally given by Powell, which was introduced further in detail by Davis, and it was used by L.C. King as well. Then this profile of equilibrium. This profile of equilibrium is what? Basically this particular place where you see the endogenetic and exogenetic process actually become parallel to each other. So this ratio becomes parallel. Then we have dynamic equilibrium theory, which is also known by graded profile. So this dynamic equilibrium we are going to discuss in lectures to come as well, that what is this graded profile. So this we are going to discuss when we talk about the hydrology, the system. So that when we discuss in further. Then waxing, vanning, uniform slope, we have already learnt about it. Then we have non-gravity slope as Boschungen. So that was important in Penck's concept. Then wash slope or Heldenhang, that was important in Penck's concept. Then Piedmont-Trippen or Trippen concept, which was important in again Penck cycle. Then Epigene cycle, that is the upper surface, how it erodes and further retreats back. Inselberg's or Bornhardt's, part of the Penck cycle as well, and also the Elsyking's work. Then cematogeny, that is important thing to remember again. So it is warping of the Earth's crust on a massive scale, resulting in domes and basins. So this is what we know as cematogeny. So these are some of the important terminologies which we have to remember whenever we want to discuss the theories of landform development or slope development. So for slope development, there are a few more theories that we are going to discuss in the lectures to come. So now, after the detailed discussion of Elsyking's concept, which was important in landforms development, in slope development, in the lectures to come, we are going to learn about the complete cycle of this slope development, the concept and theories of slope development. So stay tuned, stay safe, keep watching.